Upon the waves of Terraria's great oceans, once sailed with cantankerous fleets of marauding buccaneers, who ransacked and raided every port or lone ship they laid eyes on. For these pirates and scallywags, high crimes and treason meant nothing in their pursuit of loot, and even mutiny was not a foreign concept if it opened a path to riches. After all, the so-called pirate code had never been anything more than mere suggestions. In their quest for pillage and plunder though, the pirates' greed would only ever lead them inexorably into ruin, and never-ending servitude to a master they could never comprehend.
Gods had begun. Humanity had all players deep and challenging, with different is less likely to get me horribly
In times long past, lawless crews of fearsome pirates would sail about Terraria's coastlines, answering to no one but themselves. Their mighty ships were capable of besting even the most powerful vessels launched by the seaward nation-states, as they plundered new technologies and used them for themselves. For a time, life was good in their unchallenged ocean dominion, with loot so plentiful that conflict among the pirate clans was a rarity. There was always a contract to be fulfilled, or a port to be raided, but insatiable greed would always be their undoing, for no matter its abundance, there would never truly be enough treasure for them all. All too quickly, the time of peace amongst the clans, and give way to a war that would rage across the seas and line the ocean floor with the splintered decking of many a pirate ship. At first, the war was thought to be a respite for the land dwellers from the constant pillaging, but it would soon become apparent that their conflict would risk everyone equally, for ports became unwilling pirate strongholds that would be inevitably bombarded into oblivion. After a comparatively short amount of time, the pirate war would come to an end, not through any official truce or ceasefire, but merely because, one by one, the pirate fleets simply chose to stop fighting, for this was their way. Ragtag pirate ships would sail the seas, looting and plundering as they may, and over time their clans would grow, their fleets becoming unrivaled upon the oceans, until there were so many vying for riches that the only outcome must be a great war that would purge their number back to what it had originally been, only to perpetuate the cycle once more. It was how it had always been since the first traitorous privateers set sail under the Jolly Roger, and this is how it would have stayed had it not been for a world-changing event that the pirates, in all of their ruthless cunning, would ultimately see as an opportunity. When the cosmic scourge that was Cthulhu set foot on Terraria, it had not been on the land, but in the great oceans. Beneath the waves, hidden away from the landlocked populace, he would begin establishing a staging ground, a mighty stronghold which would eventually become a great city that sprawled across the ocean floor, the city of Terraria. To source the materials he would need to begin his conquest, Cthulhu needed a workforce, those willing to betray their world for their own selfish ends. Lucky then for the Great Old One that such individuals would end up finding him. Their fleets left in tatters from the most recent of wars, the remaining pirates had scattered across the seven seas, searching for the lost treasures of sunken wrecks. Rather than riches though, one crew would discover the cosmic horror lurking in the foamy waters. He promised the captain a map to unlimited riches, plunder beyond his wildest imagination, and truly whatever he desired. And all Cthulhu asked was that the crew do as he tasked them, locate powerful artifacts, quell the restless harpies and wyverns of the floating islands, and ferry resources back to the foundations of Terraria. To achieve what had been asked of them, Cthulhu granted the ship and crew certain otherworldly gifts. The vessel was granted the ability to fly, allowing it to travel wherever the old god commanded. Furthermore, to ensure that he could continue working for the Old One, the captain was given somewhat limited immortality. He would not perish from old age, and neither would he be subject to death, even if he were mortally wounded. Cursed to go on existing as a skeletal visage, forever commanding his damned vessel until the day Cthulhu's map finally freed him. Word would spread quickly among the pirate clans of the Flying Dutchman and its immortal captain, of how the crew were assured riches beyond belief upon completion of their mission. One by one, the remaining pirate crews would seek out this great benefactor and submit themselves to his will, in the hope that they too would be granted infinite plunder. Cthulhu was of course pleased to accept their service, and during his rule they continued to serve him well. None had ever stopped to consider what would happen to them and their promised plunder if ever the Great Old One were to fall. So it was that when Cthulhu was eventually defeated, the pirate clans were thrown into turmoil, not knowing what to do without their mighty ocean god. Contrary to his usual nature though, Cthulhu had not lied about the maps, for they were indeed real, and had been scattered to the four winds upon his death. Whether or not they led to unlimited riches, as had been promised, was another question. But for the pirates, their mere existence was enough, and they would hunt ceaselessly for hundreds of years, scouring the planet for their final reward. During this time, the mortal crews would inevitably succumb to old age, and be replaced by press-ganged workers, tempted by the everlasting captain and his tale of unlimited wealth. Still though, the quest would continue, the pirate fleets aggressively pursuing any lead they could find on the maps, even if it meant violently tearing apart innocent settlements. But then what would have happened if the crew actually fulfilled their quest, finally obtaining one of the lost maps and following it to its destination? Well then, as one unfortunate captain had found out, it may have been preferable not to stumble upon the old cosmic horror at all.
Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked what you saw, then please consider liking the video, subscribing and sharing it with your friends. If you want to support the channel even more, then head over to Patreon, become a channel member or buy some merch. Links are all down in the description. I hope you all have a great day and I'll see you next time.